Hey, beautiful. It's 2:22 on Friday, October the 27th. So, what can we do today? So today I really want to talk to you guys about being a sorceress and also about why all of the modalities that you already know, all of the modalities that you're already certified in, that's a big amount of magic. That's a big amount of energy that's available in the world that is supposed to be here. And, people are supposed to be able to have this transformation with you. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about is, why is this transformation not a lasting transformation for you? It may be, like these clients come and see you and they spend time with you and they have a really gorgeous time with you. But at the end of the transformation for them, at the end of their sessions, you're feeling depleted. You're feeling like, wow, I don't know if I can continue this type of work. So when I was working with my coaches always have coaches. So here's a great question for you is, who is your coach working with and what kind of transformation are they going through? And over the last, I would say 3 years, my coaches have been telling me, Jennifer, you need to have a group program. You need to have a group program. You need to have a group program. And I've been resisting having a group program because of the one-on-one work that I was doing. I just was really loving how sort of customized, how bespoke that one-on-one work is and has been. And yeah, so I was resisting that change. So a question for you is, what change are you resisting? And, it's all about your physical form here on planet Earth. It's about your physical form. And so when you resist change just happens without you. It's so very interesting. And what happened was, I continually had less one-on-one clients to work with, which was lucky because I was going through some major transformations in my personal life. And I needed less people to work with so that I could actually focus on myself. And so today we're going to talk about sovereignty, and bodies. And so why do you need to be completely sovereign in your choices, completely sovereign with your body, and also to receive the information from your body and to know that that information is very specific to you from your body. So I would say the reason why lasting change hasn't been available for people, no matter how many modalities that they have, no matter how much transformation that they're offering on the planet, the reason why lasting change isn't available is because they are not completely free with their body to be able to make these choices, make these transformations. And so what does that mean, not completely free with your body? So not completely free with your body would be like, oh, you've got all of these things ready. You've got all of these things that you're going to be able to be doing in your business, in your life. And then you get sick, which I did. It's so funny. Art always imitates life for me. And so I knew this week we were going to be talking about sovereignty with your body, with your finances, with your relationships. And so then I got sick. I was, in bed the last few days, working out something. And then this morning, as I was getting ready to facilitate today, I ended up with an optic migraine. I had to hit the panic button. Thank you so much for watching. And I contacted 2 of the people that I have in my network that I work with when I have something like that happen. And so both of them contributed to me and asked me some questions and facilitated me through this process so that I would have the energy to be able to talk to you today. And so if you're just joining me, we are talking about being sovereign in our choices, being sovereign in our body, and why that's super, super important as we are magical beings, as we're transmuting, as we're really just helping people have a better life, helping people have a better reality. Like whatever it is that you do for a business, if you are a professional, if you are a healer, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, you are in the right place. Today we're talking about sovereignty. And so sovereignty to me is it's all about having complete freedom. It's not like, oh, I have to consult with this person, I have to consult with this person, I have to consult with this person. And to be honest, like, there are 4 different body types, and some of those body types can actually make instant decisions. And so if you know what your priorities are, if you know where you're going, and your priorities have told you where you are going, and you've really had some deep conversations with yourself about where you're going, you can make instant decisions. And then there are people who cannot make instant decisions. And so part of sovereignty is knowing, like, what is my decision-making process, and how on earth do you navigate your decision-making process? And I can tell you that that will make a huge freaking difference in your life once you really get it, that this is your decision-making process. Just for example, so I have all of the awareness centers in my body that are defined. So the places that people can receive information from me, all of those awareness centers are defined. But I do have the emotional awareness defined as well. So that means that I have to go through my emotional wave in order to be able to make those choices to move forward with whatever it is that I'm doing. If I'm too elated, too excited, or if I'm like, oh, reaching for the bullets, then I can't make decisions right then and there. And so that's 50% of the population has an emotional center that is defined. They need to actually wait until their wave is complete. Now that wave, it could be going for weeks. It could be going for 24 hours. You never know exactly when your wave is going to be going. And so you never really know until you start to work with that process how long your wave is going to take. And so part of being a sovereign being is to know exactly what you are working with yourself in your own physical form. And, you know, people are always surprised by this, but I'm like, well, how old are you now? And they tell me, and I'm like, well, you are the world's expert in you. You've been studying you've been getting you data for 50 years or something like that. And so it's super, super important for you to be able to understand that you have been you this whole entire time. And so there are ways of understanding yourself deeper, but it's never a solo mission. This is the thing that I would love for you to know, is that it's never ever a solo mission. You are not you alone, static. You are you in relation to other people who live with you, other people who love you, other people who care about you. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for watching. And so you are you, but you are you in relation to other people. And so part of this sovereignty mission, part of having a sovereign body, is being willing to make choices that are expressly for you, and to be at peace with those choices, regardless of whether the people in your household are like, I don't approve of those choices, or maybe the people in your household want you to make quicker choices. You know, I do discover that for myself, that, you know, some of the people in my life want me to be able to make these instant choices, and I can't. And the more that I have fallen in love with making people wait, the more my life starts to work out. And even falling in love with making me wait to make choices, and having the just having the inner center, having the freedom, having the sovereignty to be able to be like, well, I'm the queen of my universe, and I know perfectly well that it only takes maybe 24 hours sometimes to make a clear choice on something. And the more that I wait, the more information that I get about the choices, the more information that I get about the people who are trying to rush me into choices. And so that might be something that you might want to have a look at. Like, what energy centers do you have? Those awareness centers that are defined. And so right now I'm really in love with human design. Is it the end all be all? No. Do I get a ton of information from people's bodies, from their auras? Yes. Have I always received that information? Absolutely. But I would say human design has been a really excellent way for me to be able to explain to people how to run their earth vehicle. It's a very good owner's manual. And, again, people, as a sovereign being, you can use this information, but it doesn't become a Bible. It doesn't become like, oh, well, Jennifer says, or human design says this is the way that I should live my life. What I would love, and I would say what I facilitate over and over again, is how does your body make choices? And how do you advocate for your personal choices? Always, always, always. How do you advocate for your business choices? Always, always, always. And the best way to do that is to really get centered in your body and to know what your body wants from life. And, when I first start working with people, I would say they are not centered in their bodies. They are, doing everything that they can to not be centered in their bodies because they're receiving so much information from the universe. So much information from the people that they love and care about, and so much information about what it is that they really should be doing. And I would say for a very long time, all of that information that I was receiving was very debilitating for me. As a very sensitive being, as a very psychic being, the information was really, really debilitating to me. And so if you have felt that, you're like, oh my God, there's not enough wine in the world for me to be able to handle being around these people. Or, you know what I mean? It's just like sometimes what happens is super sensitive people end up trying to anesthetize themselves, or they check out of life in whatever way that they can check out of life. And what I would recommend as a sovereign being is to try to have practices that allow you to check deeper into life. And I would say the more that I've moved into being a sovereign being, especially with my body, the more processes that I have to check into life. And so I channel every day for myself, I channel for my clients. I've always done that, but I channel every day for myself. At least an hour of talking to my guide team, talking to various aspects of what's going on in my life and getting information just specifically for myself. And so I recommend that, you guys. I recommend you use your talents and capacities, these modalities that like energy healing on your own body. Instead of all of that information going out into the world, you're waiting for somebody to choose it from you. Why don't you choose it from you? Why don't you receive from you what it is that you could benefit from? And I would say, as I was saying earlier, it's never just you. And so if one of your ways of sort of checking out is to just spend a lot of time alone, that's not true either. We're actually supposed to be part of teams to raise the frequency of the planet. We're supposed to be part of teams in order to be able to have all of us receive the specific missions and life purposes that we have on this planet. We're not here to just sort of like hang around and be sad. We're not here to even hang around and be blissed out. We're actually here to do some work. And at Earth University, we do have a specific mission. And some of our missions are related to law. Some of our missions are related to, there's even an incarnation cross called obfuscation, which is like making things unclear. I think that that's such an interesting mission. So thinking about that for yourself, do you know what your specific mission is? Because that will add to a certain degree of sovereignty. You can say, okay, well, this is my mission. This is not my mission. And really give yourself freedom to not get involved in missions that aren't your mission. And I would say that was something that I specifically did do, was sort of get into missions that weren't my mission. And so how much more freedom is it for you to understand, okay, well, this is my mission and this is not my mission. And then when people bring you things that aren't your mission, then you don't specifically have to get involved. And, you don't have to be a jerk about it. You don't have to be rude about it. You can just be like, wow, thank you for bringing that to me. Right now, I have some things that are on mission for me, and I don't have the bandwidth to be able to do whatever it is that you're bringing me. So think about that. Questions that you can ask yourself to make sure that your body is on track is, do I even have the energy for this? Is a really great question to ask yourself. Do I have the energy for this? Does this actually make me want to move forward and add my energy to this? And that, if you're an emotional authority, even if you're not an emotional authority, but asking specifically, like, do I have the energy for this today? Is this interesting to me today? Do I have the energy for this? Like asking the next day, do I still have the energy for this project? Am I working on this project today? And that's one of the things that I do in my personal channeling is I receive information on my various projects that I'm working on every single day. And so I know what is the most effective, elegant use of my time, the most effective, elegant use of my attention. And as we know, those are the non-renewable resources for your body, is your time and your attention. Well, and really your energy. And so when actually I wouldn't say that energy is a non-renewable resource. I would say your time and your attention are non-renewable resources, because if you actually do put your energy into something that is igniting for you, then that becomes a renewable resource in the sense that, you've got that infinity loop happening between you and the other people. And that's what needs to happen on the planet, is more of these infinite relationships, more of these infinite creations where you just can't wait to work on the thing that you're working on together. And, I have clients that are working on some really gorgeous things, and I can't wait, and I would say that that's something that you need to really, really focus on is, does it feel like you are receiving energy from the things that you are putting energy into? Does it feel like there's an infinity loop going on there where the more you pay attention to it, the more energy that you receive from it, the more you feel like your heart is opening up and their heart is opening up, and whatever it is, hearts all over the universe are opening up because you're making this creation. And it can be tiny. It doesn't have to be like a new global initiative. It could be that you're just impacting one person, and then that person is the person that creates the global initiative. Or you're impacting one person and then that person connects with someone that creates the global initiative. Because not all of us are actually meant to have one of those online businesses where people buy things from us online. Does that make sense, you guys? Like, in human design, I can tell you very, very specifically what type of business that you are supposed to be in, and then also what the structure is of that business, and whether you should be on camera or whether you're just better in closed sessions. Like, all of this information is located in your human design chart and in your astrology, and I can see it. And then also when I meet you and I interact with your aura, I'm able to see that as well. So what does this have to do with sorcery? Well, here's the thing, you guys. Sorcery is available. So I would say my definition of sorcery is how you interact with all of the energies around you. And so if you are not completely sovereign with your body, then you just can't be a sorcerer or a sorceress. It's not available to you that you are available for that, if that makes sense. Thank you so much for joining. We're talking about, like, what is the difference between being a sorcerer and why do you have to have access to your body? Well, every single cell in your body, you're receiving information, and it's receiving information from what's around you, if that makes sense. And so if you are not having a really great two-way conversation with your body, if you are not sovereign with your body and free to be able to receive the information that your body gives you, then what can happen is you can get burnt out, you can get sick, you can receive autoimmune disease. Like, there's just like, if you check my profile, I have a link, or just send me a DM. I have a link to an interview with Dr. Gabor Mate where he's talking about 80% of autoimmune diseases are in people who are too nice. They're just too helpful. And what I do notice is if you can give yourself the freedom to be able to make those choices, any choice at any time, then you can tap into the infinite in your own physical body. But if there are choices that you dare not make, that you will not make, that you will never make, then you can't tap into the infinite in your body. So what I want to leave you with today is ask yourself a question. Does this give me energy to do this? Is this interesting to me to do this? With every single thing, like if you're going to go pick your kids up from soccer, does it give you energy? Is there a way of getting it to give you energy? And if there's not, like maybe there's another way of doing it. Maybe somebody else would like to pick your kids up from soccer today. So that's it. That's 22 minutes with me. Day 1 of Sorcery Salon. And if you love this, please share this with someone. And if you have any questions about this broadcast, please type it in the contents. See you tomorrow at 2:22. Ciao, guys. Bye.